big expectations for the Tiger program and the Grizzlies at the same time. Can you talk about coexisting with those guys and how you guys help each other?
Yeah, the Grizzlies. I'm a fan of the Grizzlies. I spent a lot of time with Coach Hollins. We tried to recruit his son, so I was in his home multiple times, and I've known Dave Yeager for a very long time. So so I'm close with those guys, and it's the NBA. I mean, it's the best. Obviously the best of the best in the entire world. And heck, think about the selling point we've got. I mean, if you're a big guy, you got the best front court in the entire world playing right here in your backyard. I mean, you want to have an understudy of those guys. I mean, when you're talking about Gasol and Zach Randolph. So again, I look at it's such a positive for us. We talk about it all the time in recruiting. Just the amount of NBA scouts that come to our games, the amount of people that come to our games, the general managers, and then on top of that, the amount of pros that have come through our gym to work out and or have played pickup with our guys or want to come in and work out. And so that's an important part of the recruiting.
Josh, 3 years ago when the program was in disarray, when the other coach left, Chris and Joe kind of helped you, and now you look at them. They were freshmen 3 years ago. Now the two of them are seniors. Can you talk a little bit about their progression from then to now? Not only are they two of your senior leaders, but they're Memphis kids, and really helped kind of you to build this to where it is.
Oh yeah, no, both those guys, Chris and Joe, have been fantastic, Mike. I mean, those guys are special young men. Chris, both guys have taken care of their academic work, and both have been tremendous. Have represented the program, the school at the highest level, and both guys have continued to get better. I mean, you look at Joe's progression, the type of year that he had last year. I mean, look how Chris, the second half of the season was phenomenal. So again, I'm expecting both those guys to go out with a bang their senior year, and they both know they got to produce on the floor. I mean, they both want to have a special year, but in order to do that, as I keep telling the guys, you can't talk. We cannot talk or verbalize about it. We have to produce on the floor. That is a big thing. And we all know. Hey, we've been ranked preseason before and everything else. You lose a game or two. And again, it's a long season, and I remind everybody of that. But that's why it's about actions on the floor. It's not about, well, you're ranked, your backcourt's ranked this, or you're ranked here, or you could possibly do this. You've got to produce on the floor. Now, do we have some good players? We do, and but production's the key. But Chris and Joe have been phenomenal for their time there.
How do you prepare, say, the fans and even yourself for the fact you could be better this year than you were last year, but you're playing in a tougher league? You won 30 games, you might win 26.
31 games.
31 games. Make sure I get that in.
Let me tell you something. You see, again, I repeat, I second round, it was third round, on the 2015. So
Okay. All right,
I don't take one win for granted.
Okay.
I promise you. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, there could be 6 losses, there could be 8 losses, and you can still be a better team. How do you prepare yourself? How do you prepare the people out there wanting to go? What happened?
Well, again, winning is it's you can't take it for granted. Every game's going to be a battle. I mean, look, you guys saw, you were here. We played Louisville. They're the defending champs. We had them. We were up 18 at one point, and I just think it's so much. And this is what I've talked to our guys about it. We've got to be able to stay at a high level and not be up and down. And that's a great point in this type of schedule that we have. We cannot get high and low and be ups and downs, because teams are going to make runs against us. We're going to be where we're going and who we're playing. You're not going to be able to just stay high and be low and be up and down. We're going to have to be at a high level and take people's best shots and be able to stay with it. And I really think that you look at Louisville, they just we played them. We were up 18, but they didn't get down. They just stayed right here, and that's something that we've. It's important as we enter into with our schedule this year and with who we have on our team. We've got to make sure that we stay emotionally balanced. I think that's an important ingredient for our team. It's a very, very important ingredient.
Are you worried that your fans are going to lose their minds when you lose some games? I mean, they're not used to losing games.
Yeah, no, they're not, and we don't want it. We want them to lose their minds if we lose a game. I never want them to change on that. That's if there's. you either want to be on page 9C and have no pressure, or you want to be on 1C and have the expectations and pressure. So I hope the fans have that where they're upset if we lose the game, because I don't care what it is. I'm going to be sick about it. So, but the facts are, I mean, you look. I think, I was looking at like last year. I think Marquette was like a 3 seed, and they had like 9 losses. You know what I mean? And or 8 losses, whatever it was. And so I just think perception-wise, and don't forget the 10 people in the room are human beings, and the perception is, like it or not, as much as I pounded my fist on the table about CUSA, the perception is the American, which I'm telling you, with Mr. Oresco and what this league is, this league I believe is one of the best basketball leagues, if not the best basketball league in the country next year. I know everyone's going to talk about this league or that league. The American, I believe, could put 5 to 6 teams in the NCAA tournament. And I mean, what other league besides the ACC has 2 Hall of Fame coaches in the league, and Rick Pitino and Larry Brown? I mean, you've got a lot of good players in this league. I mean, this is a great basketball league. And to have the tournament here, I mean, think about that week of basketball. So, I don't want the fans to ever change, Jeff, but I can tell you this is just, it's going to be, every possession is going to be fun. And the challenge, I mean, we're all looking forward to it. And like I said, we'll be tested early and often before we even get to
Josh, this will be the most experienced team by far that you've ever had.
Dave, I don't know if I can go another 30. Let's say I'm 35. If I coach till I'm 70, that's another 35 years. Will I ever have another team? Will I have 4 senior guards? Not just senior guards. Like, hey, these are 4 guys who have all been on a team that's won 30 games and have played major minutes. I mean, you might never coach that again in your career. But go ahead, Dave.
Well, talk about how that affects it. Is that why you worked out the second hardest non-conference schedule?
Yeah,
you've ever
absolutely. That's why we put the schedule together, and we want to play teams. But I felt our team, we needed to be tested, and we're ready for the challenge. I mean, we'll see how it is at the end of the year, and we've always played a good non-conference schedule. I think what had happened is some teams, when you schedule in advance, maybe it didn't work out what we thought their team was going to be, and then the next thing you know, so their RPI wasn't as good. But the difference is our league. I mean, you're going in, you already got 3 teams. And you got Louisville, could be, probably a lot of publications #1 preseason. I mean, Connecticut's top 25, potentially Cincinnati. I mean, you've got those type of teams, so you're going to have a lot of opportunities to play against, those type of guys every night in, night out.
You talked about the players' progression and Joe and Chris. How since you've come, in what ways have you changed? And some of the things like you said on the press, maybe sometimes you're going to have to live with giving up baskets, but what kind of small changes have you made?
I've changed a lot. I mean, I can look back and things that I would have done different. I definitely have improved. I'm a better coach today than I was my first year. Just on a lot of little things, and I've improved. I'm a better coach today. Doesn't mean I'm going to what we're going to do, but I feel more black and white on what I want to do on some certain things. And maybe early on you question yourself, well, should I do this? Should we do that? But that's just part because you don't know. You got to go through it. So, I've made some mistakes, and you learn from those mistakes, and you say, what would I have done differently? So, I think, I hope 4 years from now, I'll be better than I was today, sitting here. So, but let me tell you this: I want to be innovative. I don't want to just stand still. I'm always going to do what I feel is best for our personnel, and whatever we got to do to try to win the game, we'll do.
Are you managing everything the same way? Are you finding you're giving more responsibility to maybe the assistants in terms of
people. I think I am not a micromanager at all. I think I delegate well, but I've had people tell me you are a control freak, and I try to control everything. So, but I don't think I do, but I guess sometimes I look at myself. I probably do on some things, but that's just by my personality, but I have tremendous trust and faith in my staff. So I let those guys coach. I hold those guys accountable and responsible. They do a tremendous job in recruiting. They do a great job on the floor, and that's and then when we get into staff meetings, since I give them so much freedom, I allow them to coach and go sign guys and get the job done. That I'm able to hold them accountable on it, but they get the job done. I mean, I have a great staff. I got, from my assistant coaches to my support staff, I got a tremendous staff, and I trust them all. So